Hotep, what's up? What's happening? How y'all doing today? So person was asking me, they want to know like how these deities actually work. Like how does this stuff, actually work when it comes to you really trying to experience a deity or you really trying to work with a deity? Like it's just some stuff that's just imagination, or are these deities physical deities that you can actually meet? Like people want to know these things, and I take it upon myself to inform people about these things, of course, because I'm an astrologer and there's no deity out there. I don't care what system or school of thought you deal with that isn't associated with a particular astrological sign or a particular zodiac sign. And there are times when, say, for instance, the moon or the sun or major uh, celestial bodies out there may be transiting a particular sign, and that gives you the opportune time to be able to conjure and call on this particular deity. So a person was, asking me essentially how this stuff works, and you got different deities out there. When I speak of deities, just to kind of hip you guys on to different deities out there. I mean, you got deities like Sobek. You got deities like Sekhem. These are Egyptian deities. You got deities dealing in the Orishas like Shango. You have deities like Oshun, Oya, different deities. And even over in different parts of the world, like in Native American culture. I mean, you have different deities. Some of these deities are slipping my mind right now, but you got different deities. And when I talk about deities, for people that may be a little bit religious, just to kind of hip you onto it, like deities are work with forces of nature. Like this is a part of our nature. Like there are parts of your celestial makeup or your astral makeup. We'll say it like that. There are parts of your astral makeup that you haven't experienced because of the fact that you are not familiar with different deities. The only thing that we're taught, mostly around the world right now is that we're taught about God for the most part. And when we think about deity, we think about God, and when you start talking about calling on different deities or different particular gods, you're called what's called a polytheist. And this is supposed to be an abomination, according to the Bible, to believe in anything outside of the one God. If you believe in any other force or power outside of this one God, then this is supposed to be an abomination. However, the deities work. They work independently. We start studying the deities. However, they are a part of a collective whole, or what's called like a God body. Like I know a lot of 5%ers out there are hip to the term God body, like yo, I'm God body, but it's being God body is deep. It goes even deeper than just saying like I'm God body because I'm Allah, which stands to them. Allah is arm, leg, arm, head, which is an acronym for Allah, ALLAH. So they say I'm Allah, so I'm God body. What I'm saying. I got mastery over 9 planets. I got knowledge of self. But you can go deeper with this stuff or whatever, and to really activate God body, you need to start to work with different deities and find out which particular deities you may resonate with so that you can activate God body. And the deities, what they do is that they work with forces of nature. However, how they come into our astral body is that they tap into these six different chakras that a lot of you don't know of. A lot of you think that we only have 7 chakras, but we actually have 13 chakras, and there's 6 hidden chakras. And this goes into the number 6, and a lot of people know the number 6 is supposed to be associated with the beast, according to the Bible, or the number 6 is supposed to be associated with the devil. And they say 6 is supposed to be this evil number, but 6 is actually a mystical number. And the reason why it's associated with the devil and all of these different terms is because of the fact of the power that you can get once you start working with these particular deities, and when they start to influence you through these various chakras. So you have, like, of course, you have your crown chakra, you have your brow chakra going all the way down to the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the spleen, the root. Of course, you have your 7 chakra system, which is the common system that most people are taught about. But when you get into higher mystical schools, you have 6 other chakras, and this is serious. Like this is real talk. And the other 6 chakras, 2 of them are located, and they spin around mostly around your head, the head area, not the crown, but like in front of you, maybe behind you, and they shift and they rotate depending on your energy and your mood, and depending on what's going on at a particular time. And then you have four other chakras that circulate around more around the body aspect of you, like your actual body or whatever. So you have the head and then the body, and then these chakras, they spin around and they shift at different times, and they shift positions at different times. These six chakras, so like they're not in set places. Like your crown chakra is locked there. You have a crown chakra always right here. If you put your hand above your head like this, you can feel energy because of the fact that you are influencing your crown chakra when you do that. But you have six other chakras, and when you start to work with these particular deities, this is how you gain more knowledge of yourself. This is how you essentially can tap into higher aspects of your being and this is how you can transform into another type of being. Now what I want to do today is that I want to speak on one particular deity just to give you an idea of, how deities work and things of that nature. And I may do other videos or segments where I highlight just various deities, randomly at particular times. Just I'm in a really good mood to do this right now, based on the season that I'm in my life right now. And I want to hip you guys on to a particular deity that is associated with the Orishas by the name of Ogun. But before I do that, I want to kind of like help you to understand what's going on with these other chakras. So these other chakras, these six chakras, they influence you through what's called your mind. Deities work with your mind. You channel them through your mind. And some people believe the mind does not exist in the brain. Some people do. But the mind actually exists outside of the brain, according to what I believe and what I've felt and studied based on my, just influence and feelings and emotions and meditations and things of that nature. The mind exists outside of the body. The mind is actually based upon these other chakras that we speak of. The reason why you are only able to use 10% of your brain is because you have not fully tapped into your mind. When you fully tap into your mind, you can not only use 60, 70, 80, 90% of your brain, but you can begin to activate your DNA. You can begin to experience energy and memories from your DNA, not just coming from your mind or your brain, but memories that are locked into your DNA. These memories exist even after you are so-called terminated or after you're dead. These particular these particular energies still exist. So when you work with deities like Ogun, I know I got some students out there that may be a little bit like, how many of you are just kind of shy or kind of like a little bit, not even just shy, but just kind of passive? And when you was growing up, just keep it real, you may have got bullied on and things of that nature, and you just kind of always getting pushed around and things of that nature. Well, had you had known about other deities, if you may have got to a situation where you almost got jumped or whatever the case may be, or you did get jumped and you got whooped on pretty bad, your passive nature, you just couldn't get riled up, you couldn't get mad or whatever. And it's not just about anger, but you just couldn't find it in you, that umph in you to fight back. And this is for Ogun is really good for working with and helping a passive person transform into a more stronger, dominant individual, which is very important. So when you work with Ogun, this is for this particular deity is tied in with Aries energy. So Ogun is a very aggressive entity. Ogun is really good for if you just like pissed off in your life. Like, like how many of you just, you just pissed off in your life, you really want to change, you pissed off because you feel like you're getting pushed around and you feel like you only doing stuff, or you're being made to do stuff that you really don't want to do. You get pushed around at work and things of that nature. So you call Ogun to get strength, so that you can to get fortitude, essentially is what it is. So you can become more dominant in your character and your makeup. So you can become more of a stand-up woman or stand-up guy, if you will. So these deities influence your mind or whatever, and different deities they like different things. So like to work with Ogun, you can start out by just, chanting Ogun, 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 and he'll eventually make himself known. Just like you have like other deities like Dembala, different deities. These deities, Papa Legba. These deities are associated with other things. Like Papa Legba is more of a trickster. He's funny. He's cunning. But Ogun is like for the warrior. You may be called to go into war to fight a battle that you really don't want to fight and stand up for something. You got to call on Ogun. See, this is what I do. Like when I feel like I'm getting pushed around in my life and things are happening and things of that nature, I'm gonna call Ogun on that ass. Like particular individual lately talking about some they ready for war, like they want to go to war with me, whatever the case may be. I got stuff going on in my personal life or whatever, and I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like all I gotta do is call on Ogun. That's all I gotta do. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And I get amped up because I was the type of person, I'm just gonna keep it real with you, like growing up or whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I was just this super aggressive, young kid or whatever, going around beating up and bullying on people and doing all of this and doing all that. I mean, I did my thing. I got in trouble at a young age, and I got into many fights. I mean, I've been jumped several times from the nightclubs to even back when I was 8, 9 years old, getting jumped and things of that nature. So, I've always learned to fight back. I have a very strong father. My father, always taught me like fight back, man. Like, like I remember one time I was in a fight. My dad sat out there and watched me get my ass kicked. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Sat out there and watched me get my ass kicked. He was like, I ain't jumping in. I ain't stopping it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you got to get your first ass kicking so that you can learn how to fight or whatever. That's the type of father I had. So I had to become more strong, in my nature. And really working with these orishas, working with these deities is what really activated me now to where it's like, I don't fear shit. Like really when I start working with them, I mean even before, I mean don't get me wrong, like I've had fights and I'm gonna kick niggas ass, and I mean I know how to fight. I mean I know a little bit of light martial arts, and stuff like that. I mean I've studied capoeira and different other forms of martial arts lightly. I'm not saying I'm a skilled master or anything like that. So I can handle myself and take care of myself, but I'm saying just that fear. So you call on Ogun to take that fear out of you. It's a lot of fear in the world right now. And if we was working with these particular deities, we could neutralize that fear in the world. This world would be a different place if we were working with all of the different deities, correctly. Not even just all of them, but just a few of them. So you don't know nothing about who you really are as a human. Like you really are like more of a neutral type of being. Most humans are. You're neutral. You don't really know who you are. You feel scared to express yourself and express your character and things of that nature because of the society wants to shape and mold you and make you a certain type of way. So Ogun is good for like, a person who wants to stand up for themselves and things of that nature. Now Ogun, he really likes a lot of weird stuff, to be honest with you. All the way from like nuclear weapons to like gasoline, tobacco, fire. This is the stuff this is what he likes. This is how you attract him or whatever. So I know some of that stuff is kind of course, I'm not telling you to go out and get a nuclear bomb. I'm not saying that. So I don't want to even say I'm promoting that here on this video or anything like that. But I'm just saying he likes very aggressive things. He's associated his energy. When I say likes things, like when you have an object around, like say for instance, Ogun likes weapons, like guns. So if you have a gun sitting around, you're inviting Ogun into your cipher. You see, you're inviting Ogun into your space. And what's going to happen is that he can take on your persona, your person, if you're not careful, which is very key here. So this is the type of stuff Ogun likes. This is a particular deity, like I said, that I want to speak more of on, at a particular time. Maybe I'll go more into it, but I don't like really revealing too much about the orishas and things like that. But somebody wanted me to do this video, so yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of it. That's how he works, the things that he likes, the way he'll make you, as you invite him in, and this is what he'll do for you. So from people that's out there, young kids out there is getting bullied or whatever, you just call on Ogun, man, and he'll come into your vessel and you'll be able to fight. There's this particular group or whatever, some rap group out, I think Chi-Town or something, called the Goon Squad, like the Goonies. I think Jim Jones and those calling themselves the Goonies too. And where do you think they getting that from? That's coming from the name Ogun. When they call themselves goons, like I'm a goon, man, I'm a beast. You conjuring up that entity. So that's how it works. So I hope that helped to a particular student that want to hear, want me to drop that. somebody was actually from overseas, you know. So shout out to China and Japan and all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for my next video, my next episode coming real soon.